Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bible Illustrated Hands. Today is Forgiveness Sunday. It is a feast day in Orthodox calendar, where we, especially during the Vesper service, we ask for forgiveness from everyone in the church. It is a very beautiful service, and I had the honor of attending the service. But it is also understood that this isn't something you do only with people in the church, in a specific community, but you also do it with everyone you know. So, forgiveness is a difficult thing. I can't tell what is more difficult. To ask for forgiveness for something that you have done, or to if you have sinned against somebody, or to forgive someone even if you'd much more rather strangle them. So it is just one of those things. So in that vein, I would like to apologize to everyone if I have sorrowed you for every edgy joke or inappropriate joke that you guys didn't like. If you thought that I have stepped over my bounds or anything, I sincerely apologize for that, and I will try to make myself, less of a cause for my brother or sister to stumble or sin. So again, I truly apologize, and if you think that you may have done something like that to me, you didn't. Relax. Let's just move on, and please forgive me as Christ forgives. Today's question is something I have received in the Q&A, but this is one of those, so to speak, important questions that I'd like to answer immediately because I can't even see which color this is. One of those things that I would like to answer immediately because it is important. The question I got is from Annika. She was a Protestant, and she says, my youth group leader always seemed to go on about the same thing over and over again. I always felt like my church was stripping away any form of tradition or explanation of God's word. I felt bored, uninterested, and like nothing was genuine about the church. It also didn't help that I had no friends in church or anyone to actually talk to about my faith. I felt so isolated in a place that is supposed to give you a sense of community. So when I learned about the Byzantines in history and the Great Schism, I was introduced to Orthodox Christianity. I was interested and I researched what it was. That's how I found your channel. By the way, this is a bit a longer question, so bear with me. Finally, everything clicked and I was so excited to relearn and experience his message from a whole new perspective. But then I learned most Orthodox Christians are commonly Russian, Greek, Serbian, etc. My family comes from European descent, primarily English, Scottish, Irish, Dutch, and German. I suddenly thought about how I might be overstepping on cultures, how I could be greatly appropriating these cultures. So what should I do? I still haven't told my parents about how I feel. My father, and so on. My stepmom is from Brazil, which is very Catholic. Can I still be Orthodox even if I'm not Russian, Greek, etc.? Thank you for helping me on my journey of faith. God bless, Annika. Thank you, Annika, and thank you for your lovely question. First, I just want to warn, as it were, a little bit about the sense of community. Community is something that is very dependent on every community. For example, there is this parish in Serbia, which I attended for I think at least 5 years, and I never got to meet anyone, and in the end I stopped going. So it is dependent. So just don't expect that you absolutely will find a perfect community in the Orthodox Church. Now, I think that you will, that the odds are very in your favor, that you will find community in the Orthodox Church, but, different communities have different temptations, and in the case of the And in the case of the community that you choose to call your home, that may be lacking. I just want to, warn you about that. However, as an Orthodox Christian, you won't only be the part of uh, physical community, but you will be the part of a community of all the Christians um, who have gone beforehand, the saints, the ones who are present, and in some mystical, unknown way, the ones that will come after us through the sacrament of the Most Holy Eucharist, because God transcends time and space. So that's one thing. However, I would like to especially make some comments about culturally, I can't pronounce it, culturally, I'll just go with it, appropriating Orthodox Christianity. Bear in mind that this is a very new notion, and at least from the Serbian point of view, it makes no sense. For example, Serbs, if they saw, for example, a black man wearing a traditional Serbian wear, our nošnja, which is, traditional Serbian garb, I think we would die of joy, because we would be like, oh, this person is admiring our culture that is so beautiful, and everybody will flock, to take pictures with that person, so on. So, at least for me as a Serb, it took quite a long time to sort of understand what's wrong with cultural appropriation, and and I disagree with it. Like, people appropriate something, so to speak, as it were, because they like it, and if they like it, fine, go on, take it. In that regard, Orthodoxy is life. Because it connects you with the one who is life himself, Christ our God. And no culture, Serbian, Bulgarian, Greek, and so on, has monopoly over Christ or Eastern Orthodoxy. If somebody truly thinks that and is willing to exclude people from Eastern Orthodoxy, they have fell under Satan's sway, and I literally mean that. It is a demonic temptation. However, this can come from opposite direction, that you may think that you're culturally appropriating Orthodoxy because you're becoming Orthodox and you're not Russian, Bulgarian, Serbian, Macedonian, whatever. You have to become Orthodox. Orthodoxy isn't given by God to a certain nation. It is for everybody, but for different cultural reasons. Certain nations are Orthodox and certain nations are not Orthodox. And who knows, in God knows what time, that may change, some nations may cease to become Orthodox, they may get wiped out, they may die down. Others will become Orthodox. We don't know such things, but it is for us to spread the gospel. And who knows where the fertile ground will be. So my advice to you is, don't be afraid of culturally appropriating Orthodoxy, so feel free to do it. Again, the parish community you encounter may not be so welcoming of converts, but from my experience, majority of them should be. There may be a bit of a language struggle. Again, it really depends on the church. OCA is basically exclusively English. I think Antiochians are. Greeks tend to be. Russians, again. I think that, for example, Serbian, Bulgarian, and similar churches tend to be more on their native language side. So but this should not dissuade you from joining. Who knows? Maybe you find out some fascinating things about different cultures of the churches that you join. So it's not all, hey, they're not serving in English. Okay, maybe they don't, but maybe they're serving in some fascinating new language that you may explore. But that is just from the cultural experience. So yes, you can and should become Orthodox despite what you are. Brazilian, American, Japanese, Chinese. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's called to the supper of the Lamb. And if we dissuade somebody from joining because they're not of a specific nationality, well, we will give account to Christ our God. I hope I was of some use to you, and I hope you join us, Annika. Bye.